it's time for Coach's Comments presented by Southside Auto Tech. Cristiano Simonetta with you, joined alongside by Stars head coach Rocky Russo. And Rocky, a 2-1 loss for you guys against the Omaha Lancers in a game where you saw odd man rushes against you guys all night long. You guys were a little bit shorthanded with Joe LeMay, Carter Shade out of the lineup. But what did you see Omaha doing well to penetrate the neutral zone, get your guys along the blue line to hesitate for a little bit, resulting in those 2-on-1s?
Nothing. I saw us being lazy on the forecheck, which allowed them to come out of their zone with space. I saw us lunging at pucks instead of defending with angles. I saw us trying to defend sticks instead of defend bodies. I'm really disappointed in our effort. We played 6 periods this weekend. We didn't score a 5-on-5 goal. We gave up a multitude of odd man rushes out of pure selfish, lazy hockey this weekend. We gave up the first goal because we just didn't want to go get a puck. We just want to be lazy like we're playing men's league hockey. I'm really disappointed in the opportunity that some guys had to take a step up with some other guys out of the lineup, and instead they got lazy and complacent. And they're going to have to answer for it in practice on Monday. That's all there is to it.
And there were opportunities when you guys had odd man rushes where you weren't really organized at all. You see when Omaha's got a 2-on-1, they're centering pucks, they have center lane drive, they know what they want to do when entering the zone. It didn't seem like you guys had the decision-making and organization ready to go in those situations. Again, was that an example of laziness or maybe not preparedness from your group?
Well, we know what we want to do. We work on it all week long, just like we know what we need to do to defend in transition. But at the end of the day, it's on the players to execute what they get taught from Monday through Thursday. As a coach, it's my job to teach Monday through Thursday. It's the players' jobs to execute on Friday and Saturday, and we did not execute this weekend. And I have some hard thoughts on certain players that I'm just incredibly disappointed in. Guys that are pretending to work that really aren't working. And it's, now that we're a chunk of the season in, I'm starting to see it. And there might have to be some changes. Because we have some serious parts here that can win a championship, and I'm not going to let some selfishness get in the way of that.
So how do you prevent that? Do you just eradicate that altogether? It's very early in the season,
It's not that early into the season.
In,
it's over a quarter of the way into the season, so it is definitely not very early into the season. That is a large enough sample size for me to know whether a player is willing to compete, what type of character they have, the selflessness that's necessary to buy into our culture, to understand and identify what we want to do as a team, and then be willing to do those things. And we have guys consistently not willing to do those, and at first it's okay. Are we learning it? Are we understanding it? Now we just don't want to do it. And the certain guys that just don't want to do it, they might just not be able to be here anymore.
A guy that did not exemplify that last statement was Caden Iberico all weekend long. Another effort from him, 30 saves, and at the end of that game, he's making odd man rush stop after odd man rush stop. Are you as most disappointed for him that you guys aren't even able to squander
100%. I'm so disappointed in the fact that we put him in that situation. He played unbelievable tonight. And, yet again, we give him zero support. We score 1 power play goal. The kid's standing on his head over and over and over again. And we don't score a 5-on-5 goal for 2 games in his 2 starts. It's sickening, quite frankly, that we just don't want to do the things that are necessary to succeed. And Caden deserves a better result than that.
One last question for you, Rocky. Thanks for doing this. And you walk into a buzzsaw next week, because it's not like, even though that wouldn't matter if you're facing a team like Fargo or Sioux Falls that are at the bottom of the standings, as we've seen in the last couple of games here, but you have Sioux City and Tri-City. Safe to say you guys better be ready to go, or else, it may not be as close as it was tonight or last night.
I'm not worried about that. We got some guys coming back into the lineup next week that are willing to do the things that I'm talking about. And so those guys get back in, it changes the obligations for some of the other guys. And maybe the moment's just too big for some of those guys. And that's why they're in the position they're in the lineup, because when they get into the bigger roles, they can't handle them mentally or physically. And some of that's youth, and that's okay. Some of it is selfishness. Some of it is laziness. But at the end of the day, whatever it is, I'm not going to tolerate it. And either guys are going to be willing to compete and work hard, or they're not. And so fortunately, we do get Carter Shade back next week, I suspect. We do get Aiden Thompson back next week. We probably more than likely get Cameron Whitehead back. So those guys are going to be welcome additions back into our lineup as we move forward.